will be giving us an overview on the College of Agriculture of Human Sciences, which will cover research, extension, and academics.
Thank you. I think we got to. There we go. Good morning again. Okay. Again, I've been asked to give an overview of the college. So I'm going to talk about the three units, the academic unit, the cooperative extension program, and then the Cooperative Agricultural Research Center, which also includes the International Goat Research Center. So again, these are the main units in the College of Agriculture and Human Sciences. The academic unit, Cooperative Extension Service, or Cooperative Extension Program, and then the Cooperative Agricultural Research Center. Now, in terms of the academic unit, and Peter, I don't know if they've had a chance to visit our building, or if there will be an opportunity to do so later this afternoon. But we are located in a new building, a relatively new building. This building was completed about 3 years ago. And in that building, we share the building with the College of Business. So it's the College of Agriculture and Business complex, classroom complex. And so, I'm surprised it's not showing. Okay, so that's the picture of this building, a very beautiful facility with state-of-the-art lecture rooms and research labs in our part of the building. In terms of the college of the academic unit of the college, these are the major or the existing degree programs that we have. There are 2 undergraduate degree programs. We have an undergraduate program in agriculture, and then there is also an undergraduate program in human nutrition and foods. And under these 2 majors, we have 3 concentration. Each has 3 concentration areas. With agriculture, we have agribusiness, we have animal and food sciences, then of course we have plant and soil sciences. Now in the animal and food sciences area, we've recently come up with another track. Well, it's a sub-track, let me put it that way, for students who are interested in going to vet school. So what we did was to literally change or enhance the degree plan to help students who plan on going to vet school. And then under the human nutrition and foods area, we have health and wellness. We have the registered dietitian concentration, and we also have food systems management. We also have a graduate program with an MS in human sciences with a general emphasis in marriage and family studies. The college has been given the green light to develop a new program. So these are some of the programs that we're looking at. We're looking at an MS in food security, an MS in nutritional sciences, and as you recall, we have a graduate program in human sciences. The goal is to change that human sciences into marriage and family studies into a marriage and family therapy MS degree. And so we currently have 3 proposals that are under various stages of development. And Dr. Myers, who is here with us, is leading the food security program, a program that will tie in with the Integrated Food Security Center that I'm sure you talk about in a minute. There are also some future programs under consideration. We're thinking about BSMS in natural resources and environmental sciences, BS in agriculture with emphasis in ag education. And of course, we've also floated the idea of maybe looking at a pre-vet major. This is current enrollment. As you can see, we are currently, and this shows you fall between fall 2017 and fall 2019. So we've seen a steady growth, and if you look at enrollment going back to the late 2000, that is 2008, we've seen a steady increase in enrollment, although not at a pace that we would like to see. But we've gone up from about 200. If you look at the total enrollment in the college, I think we've dipped slightly, and the university as a whole dipped this year. But we are currently at about 396. But like I said, if you go back to about 2008, there's been a steady increase in enrollment. We saw a dip, the greatest dip was in our graduate program. And I don't know if it's got to do with the economy or not. Of course, the economy is booming, so it looks like, and it's not just our college. I looked at other colleges, and it looks like graduate enrollment as a whole, has gone down, quite a bit. One of the major emphasis in the college is on high impact practices for our students. We want to make sure that our students, once they graduate, can go out there and to be very competitive. And so we emphasize on high impact practices, and some of the high impact practices that we look at include global learning, study abroad. We are one of the smallest colleges on campus, but we pride ourselves in placing more students in study abroad programs than any other college on this campus. These are some of the areas that we've taken students to: Costa Rica, Jamaica, Ghana, Mexico, and some other places as well. Undergraduate research is also a key area that we try to emphasize, and as we give our students the opportunity to work with our researchers in the Cooperative Agriculture Research Center. Internships, community-based learning, and we are looking to enhance, develop a capstone course. Of course, the Human Nutrition program does have a capstone course, but we're hoping to look at a similar course in the agriculture area. Again, countries that are students, and within the past 2 years, we've sent over 40 students into areas such as the Galapagos Islands, Costa Rica, Ghana, South Africa, Thailand, and other places. This is the current profile of our faculty and staff. We have a total of about 26 faculty, 23 full-time, 3 part-time faculty, and distributed 13 in the agriculture area, 6 in human nutrition, and 3 in what we call Family and Community Service Program, a program which has since phased out. But we have 3 faculty members in that program that do offer courses that are part of the university's core. And then, of course, the Human Sciences, which is our graduate program, danger distribution. We have, out of that, we have 16 tenured professors, and the breakdown of the various levels in terms of assistant, associate, and full professors are over there. And of course, a staff of about 4. Now, briefly, in terms of the cooperative extension service or the cooperative extension program, these are the areas. We have 4-H and youth development, which an area that basically looks at life skills for youth, character education and leadership. Adult leadership and volunteer development are some of the areas. We have agriculture and natural resources, which looks at economics and management for sustainable agriculture, livestock production, crop and forage production. There is also the Community and Economic Development Unit, which looks at community resources and economic development. And then lastly, they have the Family and Community Health area that looks at health and wellness, nutrition and child obesity, food safety, parenting, and financial money management. In terms of the Cooperative Agriculture Research Center, and I know we have some speakers here who will shed a lot more light about some of these areas, but this area, there are 5 major, what we call systems. We have the Animal Systems Unit that looks at animal health and well-being, nutrition, functional genomics, and reproductive biology. We also had the Food Systems Unit, which is led by Dr. Dylan Myers, looking at areas such as food product development, structure-function relationships in foods, bioactive antioxidants in foods, and food security from farm to table. The Plant Systems Group, of which I believe Peter and Dr. Aruna are part of, medicinal and economic plants, sweet potato breeding, specialty fruit and vegetable crops. Management and specialty program research, social and sustainable farmers, ranchers, farmers, profitability and sustainability. And lastly, of course, tied to the Animal Systems Group is the International Goat Research Center, which I'm sure you would have the opportunity to visit. These are images or pictures of a new building showing some of the lounges for the students, lecture rooms. And so with that, I yield to our next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Addo, for the overview. At this point, we'll invite Dr. Dylan Myers. Dr. Dylan Myers is an endowed professor of food systems. He's been here with us for about 4 years. He joined us from North Dakota State University. He is a fellow of the... Yes. So he's going to be talking to us about food security initiatives. Security. Let's welcome. All right. Oh, there we go. All right. Good morning, Texas Agri-Life. Let me talk a little bit about what we're doing. I've got. Yeah. Give me that. I've got about 10 minutes. Give me waving your hand or research group. Start with our research, if you will. We're organized along the different systems, plant systems, and form our. We're structured research and also so Dr. Addo went through that. Organized along the soil and we have the food system in the middle. We have the social system. We're pretty proud of the fact we're built along
about food security. We have several groups in the food science, animal sciences group in this area where that we begin milk from goat, reasons why goat milk. This is, in fact, some of you probably know this, that goat milk is the closest to human mother. In this area. A little bit of that in this group. In addition, here's our food chemistry and Dr. Daly is in the molds area. Dr. Wolsenbet, food safety research. We are in the process right now of establishing a molecular food microbiology laboratory, where not only we can do plate counts and some of the traditional work, but we're also now using PCR and other methods to evaluate and to count microorganisms. In addition to that, he brings a wealth of experience in the area of the microbiome, looking at gut microbacteria and what impact that has on health. So he brings that science to us as well. We have a community nutrition group. Dr. Antwi and Dr. McQueenie bring information or bring knowledge in the area of community nutrition. We have our statistics and data analysis group with Dr. Jung, and we work very closely with Dr. White. Many of you, of course, know Dr. White in our CEP group and working with people out into the community. So we're very proud of that. Uses for goat milk, focusing on health. Vegetables and fruits, focusing on health. Some of the work I'm doing right now is with sweet potatoes and looking at some of the sweet potatoes that are grown here. We have, I'm sure Dr. Wirasuri will talk to him about the work that he does. And then the microbiome of soils and plants grown in by the FAO. Individuals have on a regular basis. That's we have just food insecurity. This number varies from time to persons in the United States that are food insecure. Food insecurity, they're looking at sub-Saharan Africa. Security right here in the area. This part of the country. It's in the southeastern part of the United States. Dallas County, and the one right down the road from us, Harris County. Actually, Harris. Number of food insecure persons. Security on our campus. Something around the world, far away around the world. We're not talking about something in the United States or a different area of the United States or even in the state. So that we look at very closely here at. Look at the mission is to serve underserved students and tell. Right now we're in 35 counties. They're doing that kind of work. We do that here on campus. Children, okay? That are food. When you look at the individuals who surprise anybody either. So with funding, We received initiative research center here. 60 renovating. We can get equipment in order to make. So we're working. Can work with them. See how we can collaborate. This up because this is what we security center, and that is if there is food insecurity somewhere, because of the post-harvest, if individuals do not chain, something's gone wrong. And when you have severe food insecurity, there are. So we believe that if we can understand the food, how their food is provided to them, go through this system, begin to alleviate it. Not necessarily availability. Some of the issues are making the wrong choices. We have issues with food. We have issues with some foods that can't be grown. We believe, and so we believe in understanding that, and by understanding that, we can really act on reducing food insecurity. I call it integrated because all over campus, we're all working in issues. For example, if I go on my campus and nursing college, they'll say, oh, yeah, you mean those individuals with chronic disease, heart disease, and some of the other issues. They say, yeah, we know food security. Individuals in juvenile justice, they'll say, that are getting in trouble. Those kids that are the correctional. And so, oh yeah, those kids that don't sit still when they're giving me trouble. Eat last night and they're hungry. And food security, we know exactly what that is. Yeah, we understand it. All of us working together, because if you don't get into that system, you can fix a. So that's what we're doing, and that's what we stand on in our. We look forward to working with Extension, work with our. If there's some areas that we can work together, we dearly in this area. We have a the reserve. Go get food and pantries and things of that nature. Center, all of our teaching and food security, because food plays such a major role with us as a people, individuals. And with that,
Speaker, Dr. Plant System Research is including medicinal.
Um, what and we biochemistry um, in Subani Eric Drew is our and she's without her we can't collab for our group. We have over 5 million money. Our collab is support microbiology and field research plot, plant seed bank with in our germplasm for research purposes. We have hoop houses, grow chamber come in, and it is supposed to start. We have a very good and we have a lot of resources to when look at. I'm on medicinal, basically a plant in before joining here, and their medicinal plant program. Plant-based health products for their. And I just give 2 examples. Noni juice, health drink. There is no noni there. Juice. So the needed so that we the fruits and the quality now the weight loss effect, but when you look at the active ingredient hydroxycitric acid there, but it is not the full spectrum of the plant-based health product market. So we are helping FDA to come with a good standardization guidelines to make consumers more comfortable of using these products. And then with Peter, I actually work a lot with Peter because our areas combine very well, and we work on new cash crops we can introduce to Texas farmers, and these are few examples. The sorrel, lemongrass, turmeric, and sesame we can easily introduced, and we have done few trials of these crops. And medicinal plants, we are looking at exploration of the natural sweetener plants, and we were very successful in one plant, Phylla dulcis, and these the Hernandez-Civilin is the active sweetener in this plant, and this plant has been used by the ancient people. Camphor, which is bitter and aromatic for production in the plant. And we were submitted the process, and we species. This is also has 0 caloric sweetener. It has a little aftertaste, so we are looking at the biosynthetic pathways to understand it and knock down the aftertaste compounds removed from the plants. And also now we got in Texas research already got 5-6 private companies willing to work with us. So it's a new area we can expand. In fact, I am the one who was running the cannabis production in Olmis for 10 years there. So we have expertise here to take this challenge. And in Peter's specialty crops, we have done a lot, and we have identified some novel new crops to this culture, specialty green vegetables like Bacilla alba, which is called Malabar spinach, and Egyptian spinach, and then New Zealand spinach, parsley, and we have done a lot of field trials and grown very successful in Texas, and now we are trying to introduce these species into the Texas farmers. And also we work on the different amaranth species. You know, amaranth is one of the biggest weed here, but these are the edible amaranths. The red amaranth, red and green amaranth, and green amaranth. Mostly the Asian and African countries use these very highly nutritious plants. And the moringa. So these crops have been tested very well and working very well in Texas climate. And also we have specialty fruits, and these are few: honeyberry, Leonocera caerulea, and Lycium, goji berry. And you may have tried goji berry jelly in the breakfast today. And we try different strawberry species, and also the pepino melon, the different specialty melons, horn melon and Korean melon. The pepino and the Korean are the kind of fruits, sweet, and horn melon is used in the salads. You scoop the seeds and used in salad, and it has a lot of antioxidant. And under specialty crops, we looked at underutilized medicinal vegetables, and these are some of the very popular vegetables used in different cultures, but we can grow it successfully here. So we tried these 4 species so far, and GAC is from Vietnam, and it has the pulp contains a lot of antioxidants. In Vietnam, they used it cook with rice, kind of reddish rice. They eat it in breakfast, very high in antioxidants. It is grown very well in Texas climate. And Mamadica charantia, bitter melon, and it grows very well here, and even in our student garden we can see this. And Momodica charantia, another Momodica species, this has very good anti-cancer, cancer preventive compounds. It is and bottle gourd is kind of, and it has liver cleansing, control the fat deposition. So the juice is used to control the appetite also. So all these we have tried growing here in Texas. And when you take specialty root and tuber crops, we tried Malanga, the Xanthosoma species, and the taro yam. It grows very well. Peter did a very nice trial last year. We got a lot of yams. And Diascorea alata, the purple yam. This yam is very important. This yam contains phytonutrients which mimics female hormones. So it's really good for the alternative for hormone replacement therapy. And it can be grown in Texas climate. And we also have a crop improvement research, and we managed to eliminate allergens in peanut by fine-tuning the micronutrients and also improving black-eyed pea yield and their nutrition. Two breeds, purple one and the golden one, suitable for Texas climate, and also the leafy sweet potato version. These leaves you can and Dr. Laura Carson works on biopolymers. Chitosan is a biopolymer available in crustaceans and shellfish. So we extracted chitosan from we found we can increase the quality of the shelf life of bell pepper when using the chitosan in the agriculture. And we also have the plant system supports one of the new initiative student. Our student from the whole college, not from only agriculture, even engineering, biology, all the students get together and their student garden, they cultivate the crops, so they get hands-on experience and they have preparation demonstrations, and also we are planning for the university farmers market. The production garden goes directly. So this is all about our questions. Thank you.
Presentation. At this time, we have what we call a roundtable discussion. So we have the don't have the director of the corporate, probably in another. She's the executive director. Welcome back, Dr. If you don't mind, if you would come up. What is it, Mike?
Food insecurity, and that's kind of, it's in my mind. Where are primarily student body? Are Houston metro area? Yep.
Okay, they're primarily coming from Dallas, surrounding those areas. Now, we have so we have a lot of students from India, we have students from China. My wife's over there in national affairs. So those are the major. But most of our students are coming. Oh, the other area. In fact, we had a major hurricane that we're looking at. Those are the major areas we're looking at.
Plants? Oh, sorry. Question related with medicine plants. Of different chemicals on humans, also with doctors. How you test the effects of different in humans, like sometimes how you or helping them on the properties or other properties in funding, so your fund. I would like to learn more about how you college.
Yeah, this is the challenge actually we have when we are looking at the medicinal plant users first. Mostly from Chinese, Indian, they have well published pharmacopoeia. We select the plants and start working on it. After we do the research, then it goes. These days, they didn't publish those the traditional to the hands of the doctors in the. Now it started products coming into the market. So if you look, hundreds of new plant species coming into the science, of course, and our duty is to look at it and then compare with the modern science and to agriculture to, get it into the mainstream.
If you don't mind, I didn't know there would be time to do this, but since we're having a question to answer. And I've got another presentation where I'm showing these, but I know I could be able to do it here, but I want people here. It's okay. All right. Here are the purple sweet potatoes that are being grown. Okay. What Dr. have become red purple have a higher level of anthocyanin, which is an antioxidant, which in fact makes them healthy. Traditional, what I call traditional, this is the yellow, this is the orange sweet potato. It's high in beta carotene. Okay? So Dr. Gao, what he's doing is that he's growing these potatoes and trying to the key issue is that there's a weevil that attacks these sweet potatoes. And so we've got one that will protect the orange sweet potato, but not the purple. So that's what he's doing now. And so the reason why I know about this is that he brings them to my lab. Okay. Purple sweet potatoes, if you've had them, they don't taste like they taste more earthy. They're more like a beet to me, frankly. They really taste like mint, okay? And so when you look at this and say, well, can I sell this sweet potato as a sweet potato? Scientists in my group would say, hey, we ate purple sweet potatoes at home. I understand it. I like it. Well, here don't. So what do we do with it? Well, at my lab, what I do is I say, well, this sweet potatoes are high. Okay? And this starch, we're now evaluating to see if it has some special properties, the way it holds water, the way the thickness of it, the rheology of solutions made with these starch. So we're looking at the starch. Okay? The other thing we've done too is say, well, what if we make chips out of it? Okay? So we're drying chips. We're making sweet potato chips. And some of you have gone to the stores and you know what the price of sweet potato chips are? Okay? They're very expensive. Okay? I think one bag of sweet potato chips, we were looking online, I got a student that's going to be doing some of this, and she said, oh yeah, Dr. Myers, they're selling at HEB and they're $4 a bag. Okay? Well, if our farmers can grow these chips and dry them and make them into sweet potato chips, they've got a product, a value-added product that's a lot more than those potatoes are. Well, we said, okay, well, let's take those one step further. Let's take the chips, let's grind them into flour. Okay? So we're taking the chips and now we're grinding into flour. And so now we may have a value-added flour that we can use. And what we're looking at is because sweet potato flour is not going to function or act like a wheat flour. How can you put it in a baked product? Well, what we do is we're trying to fortify wheat flour with these flours so that you can have a baked product, a muffin, a cookie, or so forth, and have these value-added nutrients in it, like the beta carotene and so forth. Well, you did that too. We made cookies. Okay? We go up to about 30% replacement. And we think that's okay. Now, we've got to do some sensory tests and so forth. We're doing our nutrition analysis, whatever. But this is how we're working with the plant scientists. is to look at what they're growing, and then what they're growing, how can we now convert it into something value added to provide additional value? Some of the vegetables we talked about that they're growing. This is dried kale, this is dried Swiss chard, we're doing some of that kind of work. Those berries that he's talking about, we're turning them into jelly. We have some great labs over in May Hall where we can do some of this stuff. Where we have value add, we have food processing labs that we're in. So this is the kind of stuff we're doing here. And as I talk about the food system, where they start in the field, they people and understand what they extension comes in. Or at least make it relevant to people out there. So I didn't want to take over, but I had these and we were talking about it, so I thought I'd show it.
And the purple sweet potato does, the purple sweet potato does take some work to make it palatable. When we, several years back, when Dr. Gow had homecoming, you know, our colors are purple and gold. And so our genius program leader for family consumer made many sweet potato pies, but we really had to work with it because it is not what you expect from your regular sweet potato. But Jackie worked out of any food, and they went over very well. We take some work, and so we have not worked with them since because we're waiting on them to improve the quality. You know, and we tried several things. I think we tried putting some in a smoothie, and the mashed potatoes didn't go over well. The mashed purple sweet potatoes. So we look forward to what's going to happen next. But it was a unique experience, and they were palatable, but they turned out okay. Yeah.
Dr. Williams, cooperative extension program, what it is we do, and some of the wonderful.
No, now I brought my presentation. But we, of course, are the sister land grant to Texas A&M. There are 2 land grants in Texas, Prairie View and Texas A&M. And land grant institutions are prevalent among the South, you know, because of segregation where we could not attend the 1862 schools. So USDA gave money to build 1890 institutions, calling them land grant, coming from the USDA system. So what we do here, we have the 4 areas: 4-H and youth development. Guadalupe has done some of the amazing things. She leadership youth. We also have an amazing agrobotics competition that was started with our 4-H, previous 4-H agent in Houston, Ricky Mahaley, and he would bring the competition on campus at Prairie View every May. And then it just started growing, and then the Houston Livestock Show CEO asked to bring it there several years back. So, and now it has really, really grown. But that is an amazing way to get our kids truly interested in science and to see science and learning at a very interesting and innovative format, because they have to develop those. They do the coding, and those of you who are familiar with, you know what I'm talking about. But it is an amazing experience for young kids to get involved, and of course the parents as well, because they are there 100%. We also have a lot going on in our community economic development program. We just received a $1 million grant from Texas Workforce targeting veterans. We have a homeless veteran project. We're working with 3 schools in Houston that are building tiny homes for veterans. Texas has too many homeless veterans. It's so sad how we treat our veterans. But if a veteran does not have a mailing address, they cannot get benefits. So we are trying to help them get established in a home where they can get their benefits. And these tiny homes are just temporary until they can get their benefits and they can hopefully qualify for medical help or whatever they need and funding to build another house. So we're also working with our architecture department, our students, to help in design. High school students at Kingwood just completed a tiny home, and it's on one of our volunteers' property in Liberty, Texas. It is amazing. And these kids they're so excited at their accomplishment, and so they're looking forward to doing more of that. This workforce development grant will also help train individuals to do, like carpeting, some of the major things that people are needing builders for because of Harvey. They don't have enough contractors and builders in Houston to make a dent in rebuilding and getting families and homes back together. So this particular grant will also train, the training is free for them to become skilled in areas that they can go and be part of the team to help restore and rehabilitate the homes. And it's just highlighting some things. You all will experience some of their cuisine at lunch. Heritage program that has been going on where we introduce foods in the cultures and how you can prepare them healthy, but if you don't prepare them healthy, just don't eat as much. Taste of Latin America for that as well. It's gone over very well. We've done some programs in mental health and also bullying. That's been a big issue in the young kids who are committing suicide. Is just unreal because of bullying in the schools. In agriculture and natural resources, of course, we work a lot with our colleagues on campus. Dr. Clarence Bunch from Ohio. Trying to think of, I know they've been real involved in farmers markets. A little bit more innovative than they have been. Once we get in a pattern and extension, it's hard to break that habit of doing the same old thing, same old thing. So we're preparing them to look more at the needs of the county and helping them develop really strong programs to address those needs. So we're in 35 of the 254 counties, sharing the same offices with our AgriLife colleagues. However, in Houston, we're located in 3 different offices. Of course, Harvey took away the Bexar County office, and so they're meeting at the Prairie View Northwest Campus site off of Grant Road. We also have our FNEP staff housed at the Old Spanish Trail office. That's where the adult probation is, so there's always something interesting going on over there. And then we are also, our health coordinator, health specialist, is housed in the Prairie View College of Nursing facility downtown on Fannin Street. Prairie View has a really amazing College of Nursing and nursing program. And we have always had a working relationship with them from the health standpoint. So we've always been housed with the College of Nursing in Houston. That's about it for right now. Lots of great things going on. We have a youth leadership lab every summer where we bring kids on campus and expose them to careers in agriculture and campus life. They get to stay in the freshman dorms. And we have since then formed a junior leadership lab to where the kids come. It's during the summer. The parents drop them off, but they come back and get them because they're small and we don't have a babysitting service. So, but the older ones are like junior high and high school that stay on campus and get the campus experience, and they really, really enjoy that. We also have a new bowling alley up the street, and I know they really get a. Did y'all get to see that? Oh, you drove by. Oh, have to see the Panther lanes. Okay, but I've been on this journey for 42 years. I worked with AgriLife 18 years as a county agent. My last county was Brazos County. I was a county agent there for 10 years. And then I came here. So I just am so blessed to have worked with two of the best institutions and two of the best extension programs in the U.S. because, you know, everybody copies Texas. Everybody wants to come here. So any questions about anything I mentioned? But we really have a great staff of agents and specialists, and of course our support staff here at headquarters. And we are truly grateful to have Guadalupe as an amazing 4-H agent, and she's always in the paper and the news and doing great things with her kids and her parents. And so we're just very fortunate to have such a stellar employee on our staff as well. And thank you.
You can hear me? Oh, it's for the recording. Yeah, on the when you blend, does that change the gluten profile, and does that improve any of those types of?
Yeah, it changes the profile of the, well, if you're, for example, if you're making for example, the cookie, when you blend, when you start to remove some of the wheat flour and put in sweet potato flour, basically you're moving away because the wheat flour has a higher amount of protein than the sweet potato flour does. So you're losing some of the strength, and so your batter is going to change a little bit. And so with that, also the texture changes. So a cookie made with wheat flour is going to be have a different texture as opposed to a sweet potato cookie or a cookie with sweet potato flour. It's going to be a little, it's going to have a little bit less, I would say less tough or less texture. So it's going to be more of a starch base, okay, as opposed to a protein structure. So it changes it a little bit. As far as pH is concerned, that doesn't change very much. The spread changes when you cook it. We've done muffins, and so that changes. That's also, we've seen that a little bit with muffins as well. So you get a little bit of a texture change, and we do measure texture as well, and you definitely change flavor. Flavor does change. Now with the orange, I think it's because of what we're used to. The orange sweet potato, even at 30%, people still like it. They find it appealing, quite frankly. They like the type of spice type flavor that you get and so forth. But again, as Dr. Williams said, when you start using the purple, it's just not a flavor that we're familiar with. And we as a culture here. And so with that, we've got to look at how to get that into a product and one that people will like, which is why we're looking at flours and chips and starch and other things. It may not be a product in and of itself, but it's the components that come out of it that makes it valuable. So,
Thank you.
So this is a question concerning, I guess, research and teaching facilities, especially the laboratories. How are you, it sounds like you all are moving to core facilities or some of the maybe key technologies, but then are there the individual faculty research labs on top of that, or how's that going to be moving in the future? Did I make any sense of my question?
well, okay. What you're asking, I believe, is how do we utilize the laboratory spaces we have here for teaching and research, and how do we? I mean, is that effectively what you're kind of?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Dr. Addo can speak more specifically to this, but what we do is we work together Okay? For example, we have the CARC labs, and those labs are federal, or lab that are paid with federal funds, and so those are primarily research labs. However, we have our undergraduate students who work for those professors that can get into those laboratories. And so they learn a lot of those technologies. Some of our classes are able to go into those laboratories and use some of that equipment. So they're learning some of the basics of using, for example, HPLCs and ISP and those kinds of equipment that they can learn how to use. So we do it from that standpoint. In the Ag Business Building, we have our teaching labs, okay? We have a microbiology lab, we have and 2 food analysis labs, we have a plant and soils lab upstairs, in our human sciences area. So those are primarily teaching. However, there are some research function that goes into those labs. It's primarily teaching, but we're allowed to use them when they're not being used to do some research within the lab. And we believe that when there's research that's ongoing, the students learn because they can use some of the state-of-the-art equipment and those things that are in those labs. You're gonna go over to I believe you're gonna get to May Hall today, okay? You'll see the labs there. Those are labs that are primarily used for teaching. Those are teaching laboratories, but those are our food grade labs. Those are our food labs that we can actually make food in. So when I'm doing my work, I also use those labs as well. So we share those labs very well. We work together, and having those labs and having those spaces makes it very easy for us to do the things that we do. So I believe that if that's what you're asking, yeah, we work very well together in being able to do our research and also have teaching, as well as some of the workshops that Dr. Williams talked about with Extension. They use those labs to do the workshops that they have as well. So, Dr. Addo, I don't know if you want to add.
Yeah, I think you've pretty much said it. There is also in CARC, I think they have the core lab, which is shared by all of the researchers there. And of course, our students gain experience, by working with the researchers there. Yeah, if you look at our department, we have both the agriculture and the human nutrition. So the labs are set up in such a way that students from both programs, can utilize, those labs,
And also they are trained in specific research projects. And we have done a lot training them for how to present in post oral presentations, and we have taken them into national level conferences, and we always get prizes for their research, and so we basically give a very good training for the students working in our labs.
Thanks. So what kind of marketing or commercialization type activities do y'all have going on in association with your value-added food products or the medicinal plant properties?
Currently, actually, our the main focus is on hemp because it's a hot topic in the country, and we are working with a Portland-based company. They are making CBD products, so they want us to help them in R&D, basically. The agronomic part, they have no idea now. They call one is called marijuana, one is called hemp, but it is same species. Which one? One having higher THC and one having higher CBD. But we found when you stress the high CBD plants, you get high THC also. So there is a need of lot of research to define that, and the hemp is less than 0.3% THC, but there is no guarantee. It's to be investigated, and also the product quality. Like CBD oil, now they put MCT, medium chain triglyceride as a carrier and put a little bit of extract. We found they don't have post-harvest management system in place correctly, so they get various molds in their raw material and they extract, and that mycotoxin goes to the CBD oil, and which is not good, and you can get liver cancer if you get aspergillus like fungus there. So there is no control. So research is needed to evaluate all these products and make correct guidelines. So these companies are really interested to work with us, and we are in the process of developing MOUs. And in Cyprus, we have another company where they have set up a full $1 million lab to evaluate all these products. So they want scientists to involve to market their service. And this weekend we are visiting with Dean another company in Dallas. They have been vertical growing those leafy vegetables and the lettuce and all that, and they are converting it to hemp growing. 12-acre indoor growing facility. So they want us to come and see how we can help them. So at one point it will stabilize somewhere. I'm sure the hemp will be more favorable to the southern part of the US, because northern part get a lot of diseases and the low product quality, and also both THC and CBD levels goes up when you have the long day length. It's a tropical plant, and also more stress. So hemp has the biggest attraction now, and one of the Peters area, the specialty crops, we have a lot of attraction, and we actually have worked with a few farmers to introduce these specialty green vegetables, and the like goji berry and all that work very well. So we need to take it to the
Really nothing that's commercially done here now. We're in the process with literature and trying to get to where we can market some of the things that I'm not sure. When I was here over 30 years ago, we had dairy, meat, market, all that on campus, eggs and all that, but we're getting back.
Yeah, and whatever, all of them, just to add, and again, that's a very good question. We're not as far along on our efforts as our plant sciences group. However, as Dr. Williams mentioned, that's an area of focus for us. In fact, our new vice president for research has just come in, and we just recently hired an administrator in that office to help us begin to start looking at this. There are a lot of things that we have, discoveries that we have made here that frankly, I don't know if we've done as well as at marketing some of these things. And so it's a point of emphasis for us to do that. So your question is a good one and very timely for us, because that's something that we're definitely looking at and something that we need to do more of.